Alrighty, here we go. Oh, let me set up my mic a bit. I think it's good there. Okay. Alright, so I'm just gonna, like, I saw this video that I never dropped. Hopefully it catches up to everything that, Mr. Defamation Noodles has been doing, because it's just been a downward spiral, like, I can't even imagine. And I actually highlighted this, let me see, in Reddit, because a lot of people are asking for, they're asking for irrelevant news. If you guys don't know what it is, it's basically what, I'm sorry, I got on Reddit and I just saw L3's, like, troglodytes talking about, why don't people like Keffels? Bro, Keffels is a bad person. Like, oh god. Like, I don't agree with the doxing, but she, she's still done bad things. Oh my god, it has nothing to do with, her orientation or anything like that. Yeah, like the L3 troglodytes are so close-minded. They say, oh, it's because she's this. It's not that. Like, let me show you how, like, close-minded, like, these L3 troglodytes are. Like, Jesus Christ, get some help. Like, Destiny, like, politics aside, you guys know I hate getting into politics, but, yeah, like, it doesn't excuse you doing bad behavior. Like, golly, like, these L3 troglodytes need some help. Like, they don't understand the concept of, nuance. Okay, so, yeah, there was a post that I made, and it was a highlight from his live stream, and a lot of people, like, oh, hold on. A lot of people on, oh, I didn't want to show that. A lot of people have been, kind of, like, making this over. Okay. They've been asking, what happened to this series, and this pretty much highlights it. If anybody, follows Defamation Noodles, you guys could kind of get, like, a full summary on this series.
If you're here for irrelevant news, like, just stop. Just, like, legit stop. Like, you're not gonna ever convince me to ever go back to, to doing this shit. Like, it's not. Like, I'm sorry. It's like, I miss your comedy news. Yeah, I don't. I absolutely do not. I don't miss it. So I don't know why people keep, like, harping on this. Like, it's never coming back. I'm gonna do some commentary videos about topical shit that's happening, but, like, honestly, it's never coming back. Never. Never. It's fucking dead. It's over. It's never coming back. Get the fuck over it. Okay?
There we go.
Anymore.
So, yeah,
if you're here for irrelevant news, like, just...
My bad. So, yeah, you guys can kind of get a glimpse of that series. Oh, God, I hate going to Reddit sometimes, because, like the L3 minions, they're so closed-minded. Like, I swear.
My friends, yes, we did just get the double tie, because the last few days have just been... it's going to be difficult. The last few days have been very difficult for me personally, because obviously as a nation we are currently dealing with a tragedy. And honestly, as someone who I am with my background and where I come from, it's hit me pretty hard. Like, honestly, I've just been mourning for the last few days, because this has just been a really difficult tragedy to deal with, and, I understand that there's going to be discourse, I understand that people are going to be arguing and debating with each other over social media, which they indeed have been, because, this person, they're not exactly the most liked human being, they've done a lot of shady things, they've been controversial, there's a history there, I completely understand it, but For God's sake, people, can we not just remain respectful? Because obviously, we've lost them. They're gone, and they're not coming back.
It's the music for me.
Friends, Def Noodles has been banned.
We don't care.
And my friends, since my last video, things have just gotten absolutely wild. It started off with just a little funny comedy. It just started off with a little comedy show where people were memeing it, making jokes about it, and it was harmless, you know? Yes, Def Noodles got a little bit upset, but at the time, it was, in comparison to what's happened, pretty harmless. But now, we have a situation where it appears assault has happened, people on Twitter are absolutely at war with each other, there is now ex-employees coming out speaking about alleged employee mistreatment, there is now lawsuits, and even bans on a platform which is simply not as good as YouTube.
Yeah, there's like so much going on in real time.
But basically, yeah, our good buddy Def Noodles has pretty much just lost his complete marbles. Def Noodles, the full-time comedian now, is just in general going down a weird path. Because yes, Def is apparently a guy who does love comedy. He loves to tell us that yes, he is a comedian. And what do comedians do? Well, apparently they perform live, as we've seen previously. But now Def has actually moved up to the big time. Because Def has recently announced he actually is going to be performing at the LA Comedy Club. Which, my friends, that is actually quite a big deal. The LA Comedy Club, I'm pretty sure a lot of elite comics have performed there. And just in general, this place has a big reputation. And apparently Dennis is going to be performing there, which is just awesome, man. I'm genuinely happy for you.
Everyone, hope you're having an amazing day today. I don't know if you can tell from my voice, but the roast battles yesterday were absolutely amazing, the greatest ones we've ever done. And you're not going to believe what I did right afterwards. I ended up driving immediately to Las Vegas because I'm doing a show with the great TJLT at the LA Comedy Club. You can get your tickets right now.
TJLT, remember that name.
It's going to be an amazing show over at the LA Comedy Club with the great TJLT. You don't want to miss out. It's at 11:30 p.m. in Las Vegas. A lot of fun. Check it out. Get your tickets now.
You see, my friends, I've been very charitable when it comes to Def. People have said you're being too nice, Fraser, and maybe I am, but the thing is, I can always appreciate when somebody, they try something different, and comedy is certainly very different with Def Noodles, and he tried something different with this, you know? He started doing stand-up, and it was great, and when I found out he's going to be performing at the LA Comedy Club, I thought that's fantastic, and I booked my flights to LA, and I was going to get my tickets, I was on the website, but then I realized, oh, he's not actually performing at the LA Comedy Club. Oh, because basically, YouTuber AugieRFC actually called up the LA Comedy Club, and they said they have no idea who this man is, and I'm just thinking...
It's crazy, because they brought up a lot of people that, usually have different opinions and things, and, it basically kind of united us in a way. Damn, that's crazy. It united so many people to go after one person. Like, I feel, you know, sometimes we should, like, question, you know, the moral behind that, but he kind of was, like, setting it up of himself.
Why would you lie about this?
LA Comedy Club.
Yo, what's up? So I'm calling to ask if I heard this guy Dennis Fatosa was performing tonight at 11:30, but I clicked on the Eventbrite link to buy tickets and it says the event is unavailable.
Yeah, he's not performing. I've never heard of the guy.
You've never heard of the guy? That's weird because he's claiming on his social media account with 100,000 followers that he was performing tonight. He's been hyping up this event and tweeting out tickets and stuff, so I'm just a little confused.
Yeah, I'm confused myself. I've gotten like 2 calls about this guy. I've never heard of him. We have sometimes comics show up to my club expecting what we call a guest spot, which is like a quick little 5-minute like audition or something.
Yeah.
Maybe he assumed he's doing that. I don't know. I've never heard of the guy, so.
It's just so stupid. Why would you make this up? Basically, I'm really confused because a part of me wants to say, yes, he is lying and scamming his fans because he was allegedly selling tickets, but at the same time, part of me thinks they can't be that stupid. Like, he can't be so dumb that he would lie about performing at a very famous comedy club. But apparently that is seemingly what this guy has done because he was posting posters. He seemed to be really hyped about this and was posting things here and there, but it now seems that this performance actually isn't a thing and wasn't going to happen or isn't happening in the future. So I'm just genuinely confused to what was actually going on here. Did this guy just intentionally lie to, I don't know, ruse us to make us think, oh, wow, he's performing there, but oh no, he actually isn't. It's like, Def, that's not an own, that's more of just a self-own. It's like, you're making up having to perform at comedy clubs that don't know anything about you. Like, I'm really confused to what's actually going on here. Is this guy scamming his fans? Honestly, I don't really know, but that is pretty much what a lot of people think here, because it did seem that the guy actually was trying to sell tickets, and there was actually a platform, apparently, to do with this, which has now vanished out of thin air. So yeah, I'm really confused. I don't know if people actually did buy tickets for this and it just disappeared. But it does seem that this thing
LGLT guy. So some people on a different subreddit, they were talking about this, and they were saying how this guy is pretty shady, and he's been scamming people. Like, there's this whole arc on him Hopefully I could find it, but yeah, it's just like a really interesting topic.
I've checked Reddit, I've checked Google, I've even checked the event site, and it just seems that this thing doesn't exist anymore, and Def actually deleted a tweet about it. So with this thing to start off this video, I think the one thing we can take from this is, Def is seemingly losing his fucking marbles. Like, I'm so confused to what actually has happened here, but we can definitely take the conclusion that yes, this man is spiraling. He is going down a pathway of where I am genuinely just confused, because there has just been a string of events in the last few weeks which have just honestly been confusing me and baffling me to a point of where I genuinely can't even describe anymore, and we are going to go through everything today. But before we do any of that, my friends, I do just have to put in a slight request. Could you please subscribe to the YouTube channel? I understand it may be very upsetting, but if you don't subscribe right now, I myself might have to start a comedy show, and for the love of God, we don't need another YouTuber commentary channel comedy show. So just subscribe. I'd appreciate it. Like the video if you want to be even keener, nicer, and yeah, please, just hit that button. It's what Big Liz would have wanted. Sorry. Please just subscribe. But yes, my friends, Big Liz and all the millions of pounds that's going to be spent on her funeral and the coronation of Prince Charles, which could have been going towards starving children and people's energy bills aside, I'm really confused. I don't actually know what's going on Def Noodles' channel right now. He made commentary and TV videos for around 3 years. It seemed to be working for the guy, but now he's going on this weird comedy career, which has just ultimately resulted in this weird, bizarre meltdown where this guy is continuously losing his mind. And I know a lot of people want to come for this guy's throat, but honestly, I think I'm actually a little bit concerned for Def at this point. Usually when it comes to a downfall of a YouTuber, there is like something that, you know, spurs these things off, which kicks everything off. Like, usually there's a big event, but with Def, it was like one day, it was like, nope, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm actually going to ruin my reputation and make all my fans hate me. Because the thing is, I mentioned throughout these previous few videos, Def's never really been liked by the YouTube commentary community. He's always been pretty disliked in there for valid or invalid reasons. I don't really care. He has just been disliked in that community, and I don't think it's ever really affected the guy. So it makes me even more confused to what's making him go on this arc of not only pissing those guys off, but pissing off the wider audience of YouTube and his actual dedicated fan base. Look at the comment section. Everyone's just kind of confused and upset and just wondering what the actually going on here. Maybe the guy's got into a circle of new friends who are kind of speaking bad things into his ear, being like, oh, you're completely in the right, buddy, just ignore those millions of people. I don't know if that's the case of what's going on here. I don't know if he's just, you know, cracked, because maybe he has, and if you have Def, I mean, I'd advise just getting off the internet and maybe getting therapy, and even if you haven't cracked, I'd honestly still advise that, because you definitely do need it, especially when we move into this next situation when it comes to comedy clubs. Because, my friends, there is this strange pattern with Def Noodles and comedy clubs, because yes, we have the Disaster Comedy Club, which, you know, wasn't necessarily the worst thing on planet Earth, but ultimately it was regarded as one of the worst comedic acts of all time, and then we have the mysterious vanished comedy show, which Def Noodles was meant to be a part of, but now we move on to the next situation where Def has kind of taken comedy and just thrown it out of the window, and rather than just be a comedian, the guy is just, well, he's just outright assaulting people now. Because Def for the last month has basically been saying to the people that mocked his first comedy show, pull up or shut up, and a lot of people did actually take that seriously, because I mean, it is an invitation, you know, when you're telling people to pull up, I mean, expect people to pull up, especially in LA, like this massive place full of influencers. Somebody is going to turn up, and somebody did. A guy called Salvo literally turned up to the events with, I think, a group of people, and what happened was the guy got assaulted. Now, I'm not going to play the full clip just in case YouTube TOS be crying little piss babies, but basically, the bloke pushed Salvo off the stage, and I believe he actually got, you know, quite a bit of an injury from that. He was quite hurt from that, and even if he wasn't, that is still a case of assault. What just happened here is not justifiable, and it's genuinely sent Twitter into pretty much a complete and utter war since this happened. Def Noodles and Salvo have been going at each other, and honestly, I don't really know why Def is even trying
Yo, I gotta show you this meme. This is gold. Look at this. That is gold. I like this.
The guy was clearly in the wrong, and the worst part is Def Noodles even agrees with me about this when you take a look at a video he only uploaded a few months back.
Smith doesn't look like a crazy father like Richard Williams. Will Smith looks like a fucking loser who can't take a fucking joke. Chris Rock was there doing a job. Was the joke on Jada bad? Yes, it was an awful fucking joke. It was absolutely uncalled for. But you know what's even more uncalled for? Getting smacked around because you're doing your fucking job. No need to fucking assault someone on international television because you didn't like the fucking joke.
So I want to hear people in the comment section being like, oh, he was literally there to provoke Def Noodles. It's like, guys, he was literally invited. This guy, Def Noodles, told people to pull up or shut up. He literally was egging people on to come to these things, probably thinking that they actually wouldn't. And what happens when somebody does? He clearly assaults the guy. There is no justification here. Just because maybe the guy was trying to make him look bad. I mean, isn't that the whole idea of these like comedian having confrontations with each other? You're meant to clown the other one by making jokes. Isn't that a big part of comedy, especially with comedians and stand-up comedy? It doesn't give you the right to assault somebody when they are just clowning on you or making you look a little bit silly. All you had to do was basically just, you know, clown him back, say something back. You probably actually would have earned a lot of respect if you did that, but no, you didn't. And it's another case of Def not realizing how to take like an opportunity and make it his own, you know? He could have, like in the last situation, he could have embraced the meme. In this situation, he could have embraced the meme and probably had something productive come out of it. But no, it was just another case of the bloke clearly couldn't handle it when somebody is clowning on him. And I have seen a lot of people come out and say that they didn't agree with how Salvo handled things or what he was saying, and that's absolutely fine to hold that opinion, you know. As much as people have the right to tell their jokes, you also have the right to be offended by somebody. That's completely understandable. But the thing I'm actually saying here is that the main reason Def Noodles was absolutely ridiculous is because he could have just taken his own advice from the Will Smith video by not assaulting this guy, and instead he could have just attempted to clown on him, make a funny joke. Def, if you think he said a bad joke just like you thought Chris Rock said a bad joke, it doesn't give you the right to assault someone like you said. And I think if you were a real comedian, you could have just handled that in a much better way by simply saying something funny.
Was the joke on Jada bad? Yes, it was an awful joke. It was absolutely uncalled for. But you know what's even more uncalled for? Getting smacked around.
If you thought that was the case in that situation with your event, that's absolutely fine, but just take your advice here. I think you're just proving that you're not cut out to be a comedian. You don't have to agree with whatever he was saying. You don't have to disagree with it. You could just be a comedian and tell a joke, or even just be like, hey man, that's not funny. And I think honestly, a lot of people would have probably reacted way better, but you chose the worst possible route of physically assaulting somebody. And yes, assault is always just going to be assault. And it's just absolutely bizarre to me that this guy is continuously going down this spiraling timeline,
Okay,
just
kind of
ruining
pause.
his own credibility. And there were a few comments of people basically saying that, hey, I disagree with going in this big crowd of people because it's obviously going to be a bit provocative, and you're fine to have that belief. But to be honest with you, I don't know if I'm a bit sure that Def Noodles can have that belief, because honestly, I think it would be very hypocritical of him to get angry about that, considering Def Noodles himself has a history of pretty much doing the exact same thing and uploading that onto his YouTube channel. Because the dude went to the Ace family's meetup and actually tried to confront the guy from the Ace family, which is perfectly fine, you know, do your journalism, do your little funny things here and there on your YouTube channel. I think it's perfectly fine to confront people as long as you're not going, you know, like actually physically assaulting somebody, which, you know, is quite ironic. But, you know, as long as you're not doing that, I think confrontation is typically fine, and it's clear that Def himself agrees with that.
How you doing? I'm a big fan. Huge fan. Oh yeah, I love it. So I want to ask him some life advice. Yeah. How do I learn to scam as good as you?
Scam?
He didn't come to be funny.
No, I'm for real. I'm a fan. Wait, no, for real. What's the? I just want to be like you. I want to be a scammer.
This is so awkward.
I'm for real. Can I be a scammer like you? I got kicked out.
My friends, I just want to know, what's the difference here between what Salvo did and Def Noodles? Like, he's gone with a crowd of people, he's gone with his team, he's gone to this event, where apparently a lot of other people also went to this event to pretty much just provoke Austin from the Ace family. And I'm not defending Austin, I think what these guys did was perfectly fine, going to this event and confronting them, you know? But you can't do that, yet at the same time get mad at somebody when they do that same thing to you, especially in the case of
He's
where you
right,
literally
though.
invited people to do that. It was a little bit different when it came to the Ace family, because they weren't inviting YouTubers over, commentary channels over, to come and join in and have a conversation with them. They were just doing it to see their fans. And yeah, you can call it a scam all you want, but ultimately there wasn't an invitation for YouTubers to confront them, but you still did that, and yes, I think it's fine, but you cannot get mad at somebody for doing the exact same thing as you. And invite is the key word here, because Def Noodles literally individually invited Salvo and promoted the event as Salvo as the headliner, dubbing him as Keemstar's employee, but everybody knew it was Salvo when you look in the replies, and he invited him, again, as the headliner. And if you did that, how would you not know who this guy is? How would you know not what his shtick is? And how can you get mad when he turns up from your invite and does his shtick? When you invite and headline somebody at a comedy show, you should know who they are, you should know what their previous comedy acts are like. And yeah, if you hate the guy, fair enough. And if he did randomly turn up, maybe I could get some of the criticism, but the fact is, you headlined him, you invited him, and it resulted in you assaulting him. You don't have to like the guy, but ultimately, you can't really defend these actions. You can't criticize Will Smith, but then do the exact same thing, whilst also having a history of going to deliberately provoke people at events. Def, if you were just willing to listen to criticism, I think honestly, you could have come out on top of this situation, but no, once again, by your bad responses to certain situations, you have become the clown, the person being laughed at. Once again, people are saying that Def Noodles is in the wrong, when honestly, just like all the other situations, it really didn't need to be like that, as I keep saying, but because of your inability to listen to criticism, or just listen to people in general, without going insane on Twitter and just attacking everybody, you have got yourself into this situation. And honestly, given all of the tweets that Def has posted throughout the last month, the insults, the mocking people and stuff like that, I'm really not shocked that some people did come to his event, and they were, in a lot of people's opinions, quite provocative. I really am not surprised by that, and I really don't understand what Def Noodles was really expecting when he invited everyone to come to his show by saying pull up or shut up. But now, my friends, we move on to another situation, and we continue to go down this spiral and move away from the comedy show and actually move in to the Burning Man Festival.
We're lost in the middle of the fucking desert. Like, it's I have no idea where the fuck we are. We followed Google Maps, and this is where they brought us. I kind of see something over there in the horizon, but I don't know if that's like a mirage.
Now, my friends, if you do not know what the Burning Man Festival is, to be honest with you, I didn't actually know too much about it beforehand either, but basically, the Burning Man Festival is a place where you go for art, self-expression, and self-reliance. But sadly, in this situation, the only thing burning was Def Noodles' career. Because as I mentioned earlier, there were allegations from an ex-employee of a certain employer where they have basically alleged that apparently that certain employer was pretty much a really shitty boss. And my friends, do not worry, I will be investigating both sides of the argument here and trying to get to the bottom of this, but yes, a certain employer was accused by an ex-employee of being a shitty shitty boss, and that came from Tiana, again, the ex-employee. Tiana is basically a TikToker who regularly posts story times on their TikTok. They have a small following on there. I say small, that makes me feel like a bit of a dick, but when you compare it to... It's definitely... I just said his name. But when you compare it to the guy in question, it's definitely a little bit smaller, and they basically made a TikTok where they spoke about the reason they quit their last job, and in that TikTok, they did not mention the name of the employer, and I have to say, what a respectful person. They're more respectful than me, clearly, but yes, here is the TikTok.
Hi, okay, yes, I quit my job. If you know who I work for, you know. You probably understand why I quit, but the main thing that pushed me over the edge was Burning Man. So get this, I had to go on a work trip to Burning Man to record a YouTube video. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm assuming my boss is gonna tell me like what I need to bring or like what to prepare for or like anything. I didn't get any details. I didn't even want to go in the first place, okay? I was getting bad vibe, I just didn't really want to go. So I asked him like a few days prior, I was like, did you already like buy the tickets or anything? Like, it just doesn't really go with my schedule. And he like got mad and he's like, I dropped like $4,000 on this trip, like you know, let me know if you can't come.
Now my friends, whilst this is the beginning of the TikTok, this is actually one of the points where I could understand the employer getting annoyed in. I could understand if the employer was annoyed here, if their employee, you know, bailed on something after they had, you know, paid for expensive tickets. I could completely understand if the employer was annoyed by that and actually got a little bit pissy. But the one problem is, my friends, they didn't bail. Yes, they asked to, but they didn't actually bail. As you can literally hear in this, she agreed to go.
I was like, okay, I'll just go, whatever. So I go, we fly to Reno, we get there.
So I'm just going to say, we'll move on from that one point, which in my opinion holds no relevance. I'm not attacking the girl for this. You'll understand why I'm getting a little bit heated in a second. But yeah, I'm going to play the rest of the TikTok now. It's a little bit long, but I just want you guys to have the full unbroken down context.
We fly to Reno, we get there, we wait like an hour in line for the rental car place. He goes up with an expired driver's license. I'm sorry, like, well, how did you think you could rent a car with an expired driver's license? So then he's like, you can do it, like me. And they're like, well, the person who like rents the car has to put their card down. So I had to put my card down, like a $400 charge on my card. And so the rental car was under my name. Then we drive to Burning Man, like 3 hours. That shit took 6 hours because he went off-road. He was like, fuck the GPS, I see it over there, let's just drive straight through the desert. Also, I had half a bottle of water with me that entire time. We were in the middle of the desert, no phone service. He just starts going off-road in the rental car, drives in many ditches. Like, we got stuck at one point. I literally thought I was gonna die. And it was like so bumpy, my head fucking was like hitting the ceiling. I was anxious the entire time, like so anxious. It was like literally one of the worst experiences of my life. It was really bad. And then we finally get to Burning Man, like 5 hours later. We pull up, and then I asked him, I'm like, where are we sleeping? He's like, I'm probably not gonna sleep because I have a lot of work to do, but you can sleep in the car. Oh. Okay, that would have been nice to know. I could have brought like a pillow or something. I literally didn't even bring pants. Like I'm wearing shorts and a fucking Gap hoodie. And then we get there, we get the tickets, and he's like, oh, this is like a rave? I thought it was like a hippie commune thing. How the fuck you just drop 4K on a trip and you don't even know what it is? What? I'm like, okay, this guy's not as smart as I thought he was. I didn't even think he was, but I'm like, come on, dude, come on. Like, be fucking for real, okay? Anyways, so we get there. They don't sell water there or food. It's like you literally, it was quick Google search, and I know I could have done it, but it's like I'm going on a work trip. Like I didn't think my boss was dumb enough to not fucking tell me any of this shit. But he didn't do a simple Google search, which if you type in Burning Man, you click on the thing, there's a big thing with a survival guide. It tells you that they don't sell food, they don't like buy or sell goods there. That's just how it is. So there was no water. I had half my water bottle from the airport, and no food. And we were in the middle of the desert, and I had to sleep in the car, and there was no bathrooms, there was just porta potties and hand sanitizer, and I didn't know that, and it was just horrible.
Now the thing is with this TikTok, I actually don't think what's being said here is like the worst thing on planet Earth. Now don't get mad. Obviously, what's being said is bad, but the thing which makes it worse is how the employer actually responded to everything, which we will go into. But what we have here is a case of a boss being very shitty to their employee and not really respecting them, in my personal opinion. This is something that regularly happens, sadly, in the world. So when I saw this, I thought, yes, this is clearly a bad thing, and I can completely understand why this person quit. They have the full, utter right to come out and speak about this, because for one, they've got their free speech, and they are allowed their platform to do that, but, you know, apparently according to somebody, that isn't the case. But we will get into that. But yeah, I can completely understand why they're upset, and I can understand why the employer in this situation would have got criticism. But as I said, I don't think it's the absolute worst thing in the world, but it does get made worse when you look at the response from the employer. Because as you can probably guess at this point, yes, the employer was obviously Defamation Noodles, and the guy actually came out and made a response video to this TikTok, which I find extremely weird, because for one, she did not mention his name in the TikTok. She, I don't believe, said him once in that entire TikTok, and was pretty respectful about it. It was story time, that is content that she does actually post on her TikTok, and I don't think there's a problem with actually saying your grievances with your previous employer. Jacket, if you are editing this video right now and thinking maybe I can do the same, I will sue you into it. I won't. But the thing is, lawsuits are a big key here, because Def Noodles has actually apparently started a defamation case against the person in the TikTok. They have decided, you know what, rather than take this on board and take this criticism aside, I'm actually going to silence this person by suing them whilst also putting out my own response. That's why this is so bad, because Def Noodles does not want this person to speak, and in my opinion, when you're suing somebody for defamation where they're not even saying anything remotely that horrible, it is a little bit suspicious.
Anyway, she framed it in an extremely malicious way to make me look the worst way possible.
Man,
because right now
wasn't
it's
that
profitable
malicious.
to make me look
It was
like an
mild,
absolute
if
piece of
anything.
shit. It's profitable. Okay, she gets clout, she gets attention.
In my opinion, this part of the response is the beginning of a lot of disingenuous statements from Def Noodles. He's saying pretty much that she is a clout chaser in this situation, which is pretty barbaric considering that she hasn't actually used his name in any of the SEO, in any of the TikTok. She just mentioned her former employer, and somebody is allowed to speak about bad experiences with their employers. That's perfectly fine, but she didn't even mention the a name. She could have, and I still think it would have been perfectly valid, but she isn't clout chasing in this situation. She isn't getting into the algorithm using the Def Noodles name like this video. No,
Right.
she was just giving her own personal story, and a lot of people were interested in that, probably because they attached one thing to another, realized it was Def, realized it was somebody they don't like, and yet again, they have another reason to not like the guy. And Def, you have to start asking yourself the question, why are people looking for reasons to not like you? Is it because you've already gave them thousands of other reasons? Probably, but you won't admit that. But then we move on to the whole legal situation, as I previously mentioned, that yes, Def is pretty much seemingly suing her for defamation.
Now, moving on to the whole situation with my former assistant, Tiana. And there's a whole, I'm going to share a sliver of this, just because now it's a legal situation because she has not only grossly misrepresented everything that happened, but she's also lied. She's also slandered me. So it's a legal situation.
Now, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I'm not actually sure how this comes under the whole defamation slander thing, because the name of Def Noodles was never used in the TikTok originally posted. Now, yes, people did attach one to another, but the name of the employer was never said. If I said, oh yeah, I was beaten up by a former employer, I've had like 6 jobs in my life, I don't think any of those companies can just come and sue me. I don't think that's a thing that they can do, because I didn't say the name of the employer. I didn't say, you know, oh yes, Asda is an awful company to work for because they treat me like this. I didn't do that, and I've never worked for Asda, by the way, but I've never done that, and this person in this wasn't saying your name, so I'm not really sure how you're going to sue them for slander, because in this case, the only person that has actually publicized your name into this story on a grand scale is, well, it's you. And my friends, I'm not a lawyer. I am not Saul Goodman, but honestly, that really doesn't make much sense to me personally. But yeah, then we finally move into the whole point of where Def starts to, I guess, try and debunk the TikTok.
Let's start off with the text messages the week before Burning Man, okay? So I get this text message Sunday at 3:30 p.m. Just to set this up, Tiana, and I can go through her records. I have every day that she showed up to work, recorded every hour she worked, and I can go into further detail about this. But the week before, Tiana missed 3 of the 5 days she was supposed to be at work.
Well, that's awful, obviously. But not. But it's not. It's not relevant, is it?
But seriously, my friends, I don't know how this is relevant to what's being spoken about here. What Def is mentioning right now has absolutely no relevance to what was said in the original TikTok that he's responding to. In my opinion, the only reason this guy is bringing up the fact that she took some days off work, I mean, that's so utterly criminal in the first place, but the only reason he's bringing that up is because he is intentionally, disingenuously trying to portray this person as somewhat of a, I guess, a bad employee, a bad person for, oh, God behold, they want to take some time off work. He is basically just doing this so it's much easier to, when he gets into his actual response, it's way easier to portray the information to his audience, because by him putting in a negative opinion into their mind before he even gets
one. Okay, so really quick, you know, I'm kind of taking like a break. I'm feeling really tired, but you know, I still want to pull through. But Def Noodles, if you saw his like old blog post, he was saying how he doesn't like unreliable people. Like he says they're worthless, and you know he wants nothing to do with them. And I guess we're kind of seeing things with this, with how she took time off.
Gets into the response, they're only going to consume that way easier than they would if they didn't have that negative opinion in their mind beforehand. But ultimately, even so, it really hasn't gone down too well when you look at the dislikes in the comment section. But I do think this is a very disingenuous thing that Def is doing, because ultimately, it's got no fucking relevance. But also, who cares if you want to take some time off work? There's nothing wrong in that. Like, seriously, I don't understand why bosses or managers like lose their minds every time an employee wants some time away from their job. Because let's be real, probably like 90% of people don't enjoy their job and they are just doing it for money. Yes, Jacket, my editor, I'm looking at you right now. But no, seriously, I think this is a really stupid thing to do when you are literally fighting allegations of being a bad employer. But the worst part is she actually gives a reason to why she took 3 days off work, and it's a really, really good reason, and only portrays her to actually seem like a much better person than Dennis.
She, at one point, said that she thought she was sick, and she tested for COVID. She didn't have COVID. Anyway, she thought she was sick.
Oh no, she didn't want to spread a potentially dangerous virus around the office and give it to the other employees there? Oh no, what a terrible person. She didn't want to possibly put somebody in hospital. Oh no, what an awful, why is this a bad thing? She didn't want to infect the other people around her, so she didn't risk coming in while she waited for her test to come in. That's not a bad thing. That's a very responsible thing. In fact, it's something I'd hold my hands up and say, hey, you know what? This person right now is actually being made to look even better after Def Noodles' response. Like, I know we're not fully into it yet, but this guy, in my opinion, is actually painting a much better picture of her. I don't really understand why this is being brought up, but it's not really doing what Dennis was intending to do. It's just making me think better of her. And this is another case of where this dude has made a situation so much worse via his response. He just simply cannot take any forms of criticism or anything just in general that is negative towards him. And then every time something like that happens, he just responds in the worst way and makes it worse and worse, just like he did in the previous situation, in which he probably could have come out on top. He probably could have rectified this situation if he didn't do everything that he did in this response.
Anyway, she thought she was sick, so I said, yeah, just come back whenever you're able to come back. And then Sunday, she said on Friday, I think she said on Friday that she was going to come back, and then on Sunday, this is what she said. So these are the actual text messages she said. She says, hey, I forgot to remind you, but I'm going out of town this week, Monday through Friday. This is the week leading up to Burning Man. And folks, we are supposed to be preparing for this trip as well as doing all the jobs that we do. She's my assistant, right? So without her at work, like, I don't have somebody to assist me. Like, I essentially have to go back to doing her job so that I can just pay the bills and get the business going, right?
Okay. Am I meant to feel bad for the probable millionaire? Am I meant to feel... I don't understand why this is being said. Like, even if you aren't a millionaire, I don't care. Like, this is just, again, you trying to shed this person in a negative light, so the information that you're actually going to deliver in your response to what she actually said is easier to deliver to your audience. That's the only reason you're saying this stuff. You've done this multiple times now. You haven't even gotten to responding to what she said in her TikTok. That is so incredibly disingenuous and really does just show how manipulative this person is. Now, maybe if you were speaking about somebody that actually is a bad person, I could understand it. But everything that he said in this really isn't anything bad, but he's just kind of trying to portray it in a negative light. Because the thing is what is wrong with an employee taking time off work now and again? I think that's perfectly fine, unless you're my editor. Jacket, don't get any ideas, mate. We're worse than Defamation.
I want to take time off.
But jokes aside, yeah, this is just Def being incredibly disingenuous, and he actually does start to, after, for about 5 minutes, shedding her a negative light, get into his real response.
And then I respond to her, saying, hi, she says, just wondering, it would be for my best for my schedule if I did not go. And she could have just said, and look, this is how I responded, and she could have said at any moment that she didn't want to go. I responded saying, yes, everything has been purchased. It's why I checked in with you earlier in the week so I could have time to change the names on the tickets. Let me know if you can't make it. I will potentially lose about $4,000 because of this, so I need to know so I can take appropriate action. So I'm just letting her know, look, I have a personal investment in this, and I'm going to lose money if you don't give me, the appropriate answer at the right time. I need to be able to take action so that I can bring somebody with me to record this event. I already spent a lot of money just to go to it.
Now, at this point of the response, I actually do agree with, everything Def's saying here. Yeah, it would be really annoying to spend thousands of pounds of money on ticket to somebody that agreed to come. That would be very frustrating if they didn't come and you lost thousands. That would be so annoying. But the problem is, Def, she agreed to go, and the text you're showing literally says that. So I don't really know why you're saying this, because she agreed to go, and the worst part is, Def, is you still did lose thousands of dollars doing this, because your video about that Burning Man festival got like 20,000 views. Now, unless you have an astronomical Ryan Poise review level CPM, I don't think you're making $5,000 off that video. So even if she didn't come, you still would have lost thousands of dollars. But the thing is she did come.
Onto the car and the expired license, okay? Yes. I have an expired driver's license. I tried to get my license renewed, but they need a few different things from me because of how things work in California. I need an actual copy of my birth certificate, I need my social security, all this shit, which isn't here. It's like in storage in Florida, okay? I don't have it with me. I tried to get it. I probably have to fly down there and get my shit and bring it back, or I just have to get it renewed in New York. I don't know what the f to do. But I wasn't even able to look into any of this shit because
Okay, so this guy says, he was born in Brazil. That he grew up in New York, New Jersey area. I think he said he went to boarding school in Florida, and now he's saying he's in LA. I don't get where he's going. Like, he just mismatches everything.
Was just, a whole week without the two people that I usually have assisting me in the office. They weren't here. So I was doing both of the jobs, doing videos every day, doing the podcast, setting up the show, which we did Friday. We did a show the Friday before, not a roast battle, but we did the Friday show, the first ever Friday show, the day before. The day and a half before we went to Burning Man. So, yeah, yes, my license is expired. That's all on me. I should have gotten a new license.
It's really entertaining to me because so far, everything Def said has actually lined up with everything in the original TikTok. Yet despite that, he said in this video that 95% of what she said was bullshit.
Literally 95% of that video is a lie.
Yeah, everything I'm hearing so far lines up with 100% of what was said in the TikTok. It's really, really weird to me. And it's like, Def, I don't understand what you're doing here. Are you lying here? Are you just being intentionally disingenuous here? I'm going to have to take one of those two answers because this isn't really you debunking anything. This is just you agreeing with what she's saying and retelling the story. And then after this, Def is like, oh, well, I paid her back for the car. And it's like, okay.
What happened immediately after she rented the car, I sent her a payment covering the cost of the car. Immediately. Covering even extra, because the car was like $390 something, right? I immediately Zelled her the money to cover the cost of the car. Here's the transaction. I also said that anything that happens with the car, I will cover all the costs. I'll cover the gas. I'll cover everything because it's my responsibility.
Look, I'm not going to lie to you guys. When in the original TikTok she was like, oh yeah, he asked me to use my card to pay for the car, I didn't think that she was saying, oh, he didn't, pay me back the money. If she was going to say that, she would have said that. When she said she had to use her card because he had an unrenewed driver's license, what I thought she was saying is, oh yeah, I took out the thing, he paid me the money for it, we got the car. That's what I took it as, and I think what you're doing here is reaching, because at no point in her video did she say that you never paid her back. I really don't get, again, why you're bringing up this part. So far, you've literally agreed with her story of her trying to bail, her story of you not having a driver's license, and her story of getting a car in her name so you could drive it.
Literally 95% of that video is a lie.
But yeah, after this, finally, Def tries to actually say that something didn't happen. Finally.
She says that there was no food or water. Now, I ended up, painting a picture that was a little funnier for the video itself, okay? I tried to purposely make it seem more dramatic and funnier than what it actually was. Here's the truth, okay? We made 4 stops during our trip, and you can see Gerlach. This is a gas station in Gerlach. Gerlach is literally 10 minutes away from Burning Man. We stopped by a pizza shop in Gerlach. You can see the dates. We made another stop in Reno. So when we made this first stop, I offered to buy her water because she had 1 bottle of water. This was after we got out of the desert. She said she didn't want it, okay? I offered to buy her water. This is it. Then I stopped by a pizza shop, which was down the block, essentially, from the gas station. I bought her pizza, bought myself pizza. I bought food. I offered to buy her more food. I offered to buy her water once again, and she said no. She ended up buying for herself some iced tea, okay? This is the evidence right here, okay? 828. When we got to Burning Man, she realized there was no water, and then she started to panic because she refused to buy water here.
Yeah, he posted receipts, and he said that she refused to get water, which is really weird, because I don't actually understand why somebody in the desert would refuse to get water, so that really doesn't make much sense unless she had this grand scheme of going against Def Noodles, but it appears that isn't the case, because she did post a screenshot of oh yeah, she actually did buy water for herself in a garage. So again, it appears that Def has lied, and this does actually line up with the story. She says that she had half a bottle from an airport, and I'm kind of guessing that there was a garage at that airport which sold this bottle of water, and based on my Google searches to airports in the area which is connected to this event, that yeah, there are these same garages that links with her transaction, which she posted on Twitter, which, I think lines up with what she says here.
I had half my water bottle from the airport.
She even went on Twitter and started posting screen recordings of her account while she was actually living through this weekend, where she was messaging her friend, pretty much a diary of this entire time, and how erratic or hectic the whole thing was, and how she kept mentioning that she was thirsty and only had half a bottle of water, and a lot of other things in this situation. And in the screen recording, you can see her getting worried that the car is pretty much being destroyed, and how Dennis was pretty much saying that it would be absolutely fine, and I'm pretty sure in his response he did say that he bought full coverage and insurance and stuff, but ultimately I'm pretty sure that will still affect her record because the car is under her name, and I think it does just kind of represent this guy's carefree manner and lack of care for his employees in general. I don't understand how he can't see this thing which he literally admits to in his video and think, yeah, I was in the wrong in that situation, but no, he doesn't do that. He says, oh, she lied about 95% of the things. It's like, mate, I really do not understand your logic here. So honestly, I don't really think much has changed here. In fact, it does just seem that the story is pretty much the same thing, other than the timeline is a little bit different. When we take the whole pizza story, what I think we have here is they went and got pizza before they went to the Burning Man festival. I'm pretty sure at no point she actually clarified whether she had food before the festival or not. In fact, in the TikTok, she seemingly did just refer to the fact that they did not sell food at the Burning Man festival.
Anyways, so we get there. They don't sell water there or food. It's like it was a quick Google search, and I know I could have done it, but it's like I'm going on a work trip. Like I didn't think my boss was dumb enough to not fucking tell me any of this shit. But he didn't do a simple Google search, which if you type in Burning Man, you click on the thing, there's a big thing with a survival guide. It tells you that they don't sell food. They don't buy or sell goods there.
So I can only assume that they didn't have food on that day at the festival, especially when you take into account that the food Dennis mentioned they had was at a pizza place, which I imagine is a restaurant, which is where they ate before they went to the festival, which does actually completely line up. When you see the pizza transaction, it says the 28th, but when you look at this tweet from Def Noodles on the 29th, it says that they haven't even arrived at Burning Man yet. So yeah, I actually think the TikTok pretty much does still line up with what Def Noodles is saying. So honestly, nothing has actually changed her in my opinion. Yeah, sure, you can argue maybe she should have mentioned the pizza, but honestly, I think it does still line up with her story. And yeah, I don't think much is honestly that different from this debunking. I think she has the absolute right to come out and speak about her experience. I don't think she's done anything particularly wrong in this situation. She's not broken any laws in this situation. In fact, the only person that's broken a law in this situation is Dennis himself by driving with an unrenewed driver's license. I don't know why he would admit that on his YouTube channel, but it's just another case of this dude spiraling. Like, he's admitting to breaking the law now in order to respond to a TikTok where his name wasn't even mentioned. It's just utterly baffling, but it is the Def Noodles conundrum. It just will never end. Just like the comedy club stuff before, the guy could have just been like, haha, yeah, funny, and ignored this. He could have pretended it didn't happen, but no, he had to be Def Noodles and continue to explode situations out of absolute proportion.
Yeah, he's such
with
a
the random
clown.
disappeared comedy show stuff, I'm not really sure what was happening there, but it was just another example of the madness. But also with the other comedy show stuff, with the Salvo situation, it was just another thing of where he represented his own hypocrisy. He literally invited the guy to the event. I don't really know what he was expecting expecting was going to happen, and it did just result in him doing and responding to that whole thing in the worst way possible. And this is the case with Def. He does just make situations which don't have to be as bad as they are far, far worse, and just continues to make more and more people not really like the guy. I don't actually think he's a bad human being. I just think he needs to step away and realize that this whole social media thing is clearly affecting him. And yeah, that is pretty much just a short viewing of Def Noodles' I guess, multiverse of madness, of where this guy seems to be involved in every single little bit of YouTube drama possible, where he just makes everything so much utterly worse than it actually needs to be. And I think if there's anything we can learn from this trilogy, is that if you're going to be a YouTuber, maybe don't follow the Def Noodles checkbook, don't do what this guy's done, and in fact, take Def Noodles as an example of everything to not do as an influencer. I don't really understand how hundreds of thousands of people can be like, you're wrong in all of these situations, and Def, the one guy, will say, actually no, I'm the one in the right here, you are all in the wrong. I don't understand how he can actually believe that, but I guess it's the case of this guy having a bit of an ego problem. I don't know the guy personally, but that's the only conclusion I can really take from this. I'll end this video by saying something that I regularly say in YouTube drama, of honestly, when it comes to a situation, it's not necessarily down to how impactful the original situation is, it's how you actually respond to things. And Def's response to everything is just so fucking bad that it's truly fucking mystifying, and anybody could write a book about this, because it's one of the most crazy, insane, batshit things that I've ever seen on.
Yeah, I'm like, this guy's, his backstory, his, like, anecdotes, family history, and everything, it's all, like, it is a Da Vinci Code, because it's all over the place. Like, now we know he's been to Brazil, New Jersey, New York, Los Angeles, Florida, like, where else? Like, it doesn't make any sense. This guy is, like, all over the place. He's dishonest. Activating your lawyer, yeah, that's ridiculous. Okay, so, yeah, now we're going to the Paris Hilton. Hopefully I'm able to see something because, you know, I'm kind of feeling sleepy. Hopefully I don't, but we'll see.
How's the volume and stuff now?
The volume's good.
Cool, here we go.
All right, 1, 2, 3, that's hot. This is Paris. Paris Hilton. Paris. This is Paris Hilton. How many voices do I have?
Well, that's pretty good.
That was your real voice.
This is Paris Hilton.
This is Paris Hilton. No, this is.
No, this is.
This is Paris Hilton. Paris Hilton. This is Paris Hilton!
Paris Hilton is a new breed of celebrity, famous for being famous.
She is the great-granddaughter of the hotel magnate Conrad Hilton, the model and the gossip column favorite.
Hilton Mania climaxed this week. More than 13 million people watched her show, The Simple Life.
That's hot. That's hot. That's hot.
Paris Hilton is everywhere. Washing her Bentley, eating a Carl's Jr. burger. America has embraced Paris's brand.
All you hear people talking about the Paris Hilton sex video.
Paris is an irresistible punchline.
Wow, that's really her. Paris, over here. I don't get it. What'd she do? She told me.
I just don't get why people, like, put so much emphasis, like, on celebrity worship.
What does she do?
Ditch the old blonde girl going to parties image and now become this big businesswoman. 17 product lines. You're going to start a hotel chain, not a Hilton chain, your one. This is big business.
That's hot. That's hot. All set.
You're the #1 female DJ in the world, and you get paid $1 million per DJ gig.
The life you have now, I mean, is it everything you want it to be? Is there a next level?
That's crazy. $1 million for a DJ set. Apparently, this documentary basically shows how she just finessed the planet.
Shoes. Diamond, come here, honey. I love you.
When I first started this film, I honestly don't even recognize that person anymore. Ever since we started shooting this, I've realized a lot more about myself.
I'm nervous. I'm shaking. It's hard to even eat because my stomach is just like turning. I don't know. It's something that's very personal and not something I like talking about. I feel like the whole world thinks they know me because I've been playing this character for so long.
I've always heard that people hang out at Walmart. Why?
I don't
What
know.
is Walmart? It's like they sell wall stuff? What is it?
I get it.
That's not me. No one really knows who I am. Something happened in my childhood that I've never talked about with anyone. I still have nightmares about it. I wish I could bring like a camera into my dreams and like show you what it's like. It's terrifying. And I relive.
Honestly, for like celeb kids, there's like so much we don't know as you know, Hollywood is like really undocumented, and a lot of people kind of have to, you know, hide from all this stuff. So I kind of understand this.
Live that every night. I experience it, and to this day, I'm still traumatized. And I think the only way to have these nightmares stop is to do something about it. All right, here we go. I'll just be normal. Sorry, I'm so used to like playing a character that it's like hard for me to like be normal. I always like when a camera's around like turn into someone else. We're driving to my grandfather's house. My grandfather doesn't know we're shooting there.
Wait, didn't she have that reggae song? I think she had that reggae song. I may be wrong though.
Like he has no idea. Like hates cameras. I did not inherit that part from him. Diamond. I love you. When I talk, do you want me looking in the camera or just looking off camera?
Right past it. I'm gonna be next to it. Talk to me.
Okay.
All right, make those out. Do it again. Real walk.
What do you mean I'm not on a runway?
It's so cute that he put this up. These pictures are so classic. This is my grandfather Baron and his brother Nikki Hilton, and my grandmother Marilyn.
Do you make all these?
Yeah. Oh my God. Glued all the crystals on myself. There's me, Nancy Reagan, and my parents. My family has always been very conservative. Being part of this family, it's a lot of pressure, it's a lot of weight, because I feel like I'm carrying on a legacy.
Oh, wow. Look at Paris.
Well, my grandfather created an insane empire of hotels. And growing up, that was a lot to live up to. It was hard to just like totally be myself.
Hi, Stars.
I was nicknamed Star
What are you excited about, Star?
because I was his first baby. My dad always was filming everything. So I just remember always having a camera around. As a little girl, it was just this free spirit. I'd not been through any trauma yet.
Give me a pretty face. Give me a nice face.
Paris came over, and I always would do her makeup. I think there was probably too much focus when she was little on how beautiful she was, honestly.
I think like a lot of these celebs, I think this is kind of like a predecessor to how like kids are like put onto TikTok. Like we see this with that one baby, you know, with that one mom that posts her baby like all over TikTok. Obviously, I don't want to say it because I don't want to give it more attention, but that's something that a lot of parents kind of like started to become more aware. Except this mom, you know, she just wants to exploit her baby, you know, for the reason of getting more views, and she monetizes, you know, videos and pictures of her baby too on TikTok. So just seeing like Paris Hilton getting documented from a young age kind of shows that similarity.
Wait. Yeah. And what's your face then?
Little poopy face.
Do you think you're gorgeous?
No, I think he is.
You look a little bit like your mom.
Growing up, my mom and her sisters were child actresses and models.
Goodbye, Tommy.
My grandmother was a single mom, and my mom was a model ever since she was a baby. There's just so many
What the
little
heck?
Just a little girl.
Did I hear that wrong? Hold on.
Goodbye, Tommy.
My grandmother was a single mom, And my mom was a model ever since she was a baby.
Ever since she was a
There's so many
baby.
beautiful photos of her when she's a little girl.
Damn, this just says a lot.
My grandmother saw something in me.
Oh my God. Grace Kelly. Lance Turner.
Always making me feel that I can be whoever I wanted to be.
Excuse me, are you that famous actress? What's your name again?
Paula Abdul.
Bo Derek. Is that Paris Hilton? Could be better than any of them.
Oh, here's a short one.
Star, I want to put these on first. I don't want these on. But my mom didn't want me in the modeling and acting worlds. And I think she just wanted something different for me.
You cannot take these things because these are mine.
Well, I'm gonna get them scanned.
No, I'm saying these things are mine.
That's so cute. Am I like 11 here?
Like 9. Now here's you starting to walk now. When you were, this was your first birthday, and you know how I know that you talked? We would say, Paris, who's the president of the United States? Do you remember what you'd say?
I was 1. Do you even remember?
But you'd say Bushy George.
I look at my mom and dad. They've been together since my mom was 15. My mom was 19 when she had me.
We always loved the city Paris, and we wanted a beautiful, unique name. And we looked at her and we said, this is Paris. Rick is very private. And I don't think he was really comfortable doing an interview and explaining his life story or his family's. The Hilton family, there are 8 children. The first 5, they got millions and millions of dollars. And then the 3 younger ones, they did not.
Here we are at the new staircase location.
Isn't that interesting, huh? Like how that wealth isn't, shared.
So my husband and I, we worked.
Hello, honey.
My mom just wanted my sister and I to be like these little princesses. I went to Catholic school for most of my childhood. My mom always taught me to be very proper, private, and to always portray that everything's perfect. My mom just wanted me to be a Hilton, and I just wanted to be Paris.
NYC.
Alpha, Beta, Charlie, take 1.
Can I just preface this by saying I don't do these types of interviews? In the past 20 years, I've chosen to not really partake in them. But in order for this to be genuine and authentic, there's no one in the world that knows her better than me. It's so funny. Because her brand is a lot more glamorous than she is. She's a chick who likes to scrapbook at home with her dogs, eat leftovers.
Yas.
She sounds like Homer Simpson. No, but she's very normal. Paris, let's f***ing go.
I know.
Move it for the animals.
Brush my fangs.
I don't want to be late.
It's my most normal thing in the world to be late.
I don't even know how we're related.
Bye, guys. Love you. Dude, I don't have a little square. I have no square, so I'm bringing all these wires.
Paris is addicted to drama.
Oh, no. Go. I'm not leaving my sunglasses. I can't.
You were going to a f***ing animal
I
bed.
know, but I need them.
No, you do not need
Yes, I do. It's like one second. They're on the table, please.
Always has to be fast-paced and going, and even leaving the house and losing the phone and running back to get the laptop. There's always some form of dramedy. I'm going in the car.
I swear to God, they're right on the counter. God damn it, it's this f***ing purse. My gorgeous sisters on our way to the Animal Haven charity.
I can't even take a smile right now. You're so annoying. Go!
Just ruined the whole snap. Sorry, I'm a little late. But are you mad at me?
Yes.
Sorry.
Rude.
I know. I apologize.
Nick, okay, no fighting, you guys. We're not gonna flip if we fight.
Growing up, we were different.
Let's go.
I was definitely more girly. Well, I was more into sneaking into my mom's closet and playing with her clothes and her shoes. Paris was more a tomboy.
Are you going on the golf course, Paris?
She has this persona that she's this sexy, bombshell, but she really is like a boy at heart.
Oh, is that how you dressed tonight? That looks good.
Mind your shorts, Dad.
Her and my dad were always doing just fun, weird, animal-related things.
I knew they'd be over here with the penguins.
I think that's one. Who likes it?
Look at the other ones wondering what that is.
She would save up her money to buy monkeys, snakes, ferrets, everything. And once she let the snake out of the cage at the Waldorf.
Did she ever tell you about how she had a pet goat, hidden in my grandfather's tennis court?
Or the little monkey that got out, hanging up on the chandelier.
This cat does not like dogs.
She's so sweet. She's so fun. but she's been through a lot.
We think you're amazing for using your celebrity to help animals. I like animals more than people.
They say trauma, the mind may forget, but the body never forgets. And it's trapped in you, and it can come out.
Oh, come on, bro. Why is there gonna be an ad?
It's Swishy time. He uses TheraBreath Healthy Smile mouthwash for 20.
Whenever.
I don't want to bring 30 bags. That's insane.
You've been saying this for as long as I've known you.
I know.
And you keep doing that.
You gotta change.
Sure. No. No.
No.
I can just put like a little thing here.
When do you leave?
Tonight. In my life, I've never really looked back at the past. I've always looked toward the future, building my business and creating my own brand. I have 19 product lines, skincare, makeup, every type of product you can imagine. My fragrances.
Honestly, with somebody with that type of resource, I think it's pretty smart that she just like starts venturing into like her own brand instead of like kind of like being based off like her you know great grandparents or something. I'm kind of lost. I'm sorry.
We've done almost $3 billion in sales. I travel over 250 days a year, all around the world.
We have like 30-minute hard out.
All right. I don't need to bring every single one of these. What country am I going to? And I should find out. Korea, London, Paris, Monaco, Geneva, Switzerland, Copenhagen. What?
The land of coping. Copenhagen is the land of coping.
Because they want me to post about them. A different outfit every couple hours of the day. That's a part of being an influencer. I've never been photographed in the same thing twice.
I think she was one of the first influencers. I may be wrong, but she kind of like set it, you know, like I guess a standard for like social media now.
Half an hour to pack all of this. No. No. And I need sunglasses with every outfit and purses.
Oh my god, I didn't even think about it. I need to ride in a car every day and all I have is gowns. Is that like the biggest crap? No, I literally, all I have is gowns. I can't.
5 more minutes. 5 minutes. Ah!
You're gonna miss your flight, seriously. You're really seriously gonna miss the flight.
What time is the flight for real?
11.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Are you with me?
No, I'm gonna be
I thought it was 11:45. You guys are lying.
Swear.
Swear? I can tell when you're lying. You guys always do this 3 hours early.
Please say it's 11:45 and I'll leave. We're gonna make it? Do not let go of this bag.
This is another bag? Oh my god.
No, parents, do not let go of this bag.
Oh, all my money.
Yeah, do not let go of that bag.
Okay.
Please, I mean, that. Do not let go of that bag.
I love you guys.
Love you.
Wish me luck.
Good luck.
Beautiful. Thank you very much. What are my 2 friends here? Go ahead and see me. The ball girl. Yes, I miss you. So beautiful. I miss you. I miss you. I miss you, girls. I love you so much. Can you see one more time? Like, see you next time. We'll see you tomorrow.
Oh my god, the paparazzi. I thought the paparazzi were a myth, but they're actually real anomalies.
So cute. They flew 30 hours.
Jesus Christ.
So sweet. My fans all around the world name themselves the Little Hiltons.
I love my girls. I love you so much. Yes.
I feel less alone when my Little Hiltons are there.
But look who we have here. The billion-dollar badass boss bitch is landed in Korea. So what's your message to your fans?
I'm Shiraz, and what's up, everyone? I am so excited to be in Korea. We're gonna have the best time at Paris Hilton skincare launch. Yes.
So.
Oh my god. It's like she's filming like a rap video where they just throw the money all in a private jet. Oh, but that's a bus. Okay. Oh my god. Oh man, the fan reception is wild.
Love you.
Open up the gap. Everyone's gonna get a photo. Don't worry.
Bro, who's her hype man? dude has a like
But I also do get
undeniable energy.
especially when it's big crowds of people.
Hello, Paris. How are you? Oh, Paris, you should be in a roller derby.
Let's see the skates.
So fun.
When I was a teenager, that was probably my dream, to be chased by paparazzi.
Thank you, Paris. I finished my role in A Beautiful Lady. Thank you.
Bye, boys. Night.
When I was 18, I was going to clubs and parties and being photographed.
In the gossip papers in Los Angeles, you and your sister have been a staple. Why are people so fascinated with you?
People always ask me that, and I don't know. I'm just living my life.
It's just like more like hate, like don't hate the player, hate the game, because I feel like with like already being part of this famous family, and obviously, yeah, it's gonna get your attention, and the media is gonna go absolutely ballistic, and they're gonna try to do everything just to get, headlines.
But after the simple life, the paparazzi, they're insane.
Hey there. I built the foundation of one of the biggest paparazzi companies in the world on the back of Paris Hilton.
Oh, CEO,
I know
okay.
100 guys in Los Angeles, all of them making a living of Paris Hilton. For a photograph, at that time, it could range between $50,000 up to $1 million.
Paris is looking beautiful.
If you know that you can make $1 million in one day, what does it look like? It's war.
Oh god.
Photographers at war at the Istanbul airport.
Oh my god.
Sometimes I would just get in the car and be alone, just like breathe. Just like...
I knew paparazzis and paparazzos were bad, but I did not know they actually were this bad.
Okay, hate it. And sometimes I would pull out my camcorder and I'm like filming them, like, do you like this? Do you like how this feels? Look at the paparazzi next to us in the car. I feel like that was the height of everything.
Can I get a picture with you?
Paris really started that movement of having paparazzi follow your every move. I wouldn't be here today if it hadn't been for number one booster half of the reality world and her introducing me to the world.
Paris, how are you today? Good, you look great. Kim, you look awesome.
I think the best advice that she ever could have given me was just watching her. Even though it was so hectic and insane and just nonstop.
Hi.
I also loved the attention and the love. Because I felt like that was love. Eventually, I decided that I didn't want to be a reality star. I wanted to focus more on my business. And I decided that I wanted to control my whole image.
I remember 2004, around that time, she was like grabbing her camera, taking a picture of herself. I didn't even know what a selfie was. All the things that people are doing today with social media, the first person was Paris Hilton.
Everyone says I'm the original influencer. But sometimes I feel like I helped create a monster.
This is so awkward. What is happening? Can we get a goodie bag? I think there is. Thank you, love. So nice to meet you, Cortez. What's next?
What is going on?
I'm losing it.
Hair and glam, ready, 8 a.m. Ready, Maggie.
Yeah.
We get you in bed now, you sleep. Hair and glam, ready, 8 a.m.
On the surface level, like, I do get that this lifestyle feels like, tempting and something you would want to live, but now the more that I look in it, it just feels like you're just doing everything 24/7. Some people will probably excuse, the money making because a lot of them would rather, sell themselves just to make this amount of money, which, I understand some people will do anything, for the sake of having multi-generational wealth, makes sense, but at the same time, you kind of have to look at the more humane side of things.
Wake refreshed, yeah. In my dreams. Never wake refreshed. Ugh. So tired. So tiring. I'm just literally, my mind is going through what the upcoming months are, and it's non-stop. Travel all around the world, and I've seen nothing except hotel room, club, stores. I don't even know who I am sometimes. I'm always kind of putting on this, facade or just like happy, perfect life. Just had this plan and then created this brand and this persona and this character, and I've been stuck with her ever since.
Honestly, just seeing from like the coming of age perspective, it does seem like when she was younger, she kind of like perceived things in a more innocent way. Until, when she got in her adolescence and, like the whole media just like started like fetishizing her and whatnot. So it kind of makes sense now.
Like, I didn't used to be that way. I'm so full. Where's my blanket? Ow. I have horrible insomnia. I'm scared to go to bed at night. No, yes. I always have this recurring nightmare. No matter what I do. I'm in bed, and these two people come into my room. And say, do you want this to happen the easy way or the hard way? I'm trying to just run. I think I slept like 3 hours. The nightmare was like, felt so real. I was just screaming and crying and like telling someone to help me, and then I just ran. Just thinking about it today, I don't really know many genuine people besides like my fans, like Polina and Alex. Like when they talk to me, it's like not even like my real friends would say that.
But can they care for you?
Can they care for me? What do you mean?
Is that enough?
No.
Moving can be hard enough. Make it easier with Spectrum and stay connected. Set up an install plan that works.
Damn, it just shows how she doesn't really trust that much people around her. And even when she feels people could show empathy, she doesn't really know it, since her life is basically just like all these different people, and she doesn't even know if they genuinely care about, her well-being.
When do you bounce?
Tonight.
What were you here? 72 hours?
What is that? Thursday?
Yeah. I speak to you. You say you're going to bed. Then I'll wake up and I'll see you posting an Instagram at like 6 a.m. And I know you haven't slept.
I can't sleep.
Why?
My mind won't stop moving.
You need to go on a vacation. I've told you this for 15 years. You've never listened in the 15 years.
I haven't been on
Go to
vacation.
Hawaii with no phone.
Yeah, right.
And just chill.
I can't.
Why?
Because the schedule's too busy. I haven't been on a vacation and...
Because you're greedy and you won't
I'm
turn
not
down a
greedy.
check.
I love making money.
I think I come off tough sometimes with her. But I feel I have to because she has so many yes people and kiss asses around her that I'm gonna tell her the truth.
I'm not good. I
Wanna
just
show her
like
your
making
room?
money.
Yeah, I see our room.
There's not really anything to bash her. I just kind of find that phrase funny.
Do you think you'll ever have kids?
I thought I was going to have one. But every time I'm with you and I'm with them, I'm like, it makes me so depressed.
I know. It's not for everybody. I've never been the most conventional gal.
No. But I don't want to be like, bye. Can I have a hug?
Oh, give one big hug.
I love you.
I love you.
Love you, Lily Grace. Bye, honey. Have fun.
Well, that's actually wholesome.
That's so sweet. And it's so fun. You just get to relive everything that you did. Like watching cartoons in the morning.
I still do that.
Having Lucky Charms and Captain Crunch.
I still do that. Alone.
See, I don't feel that bad for you because I feel like if you wanted kids and you wanted a husband, you would find a way to make it happen. Maybe you don't want it. You think society expects that of you. But if you don't genuinely want it, it's a lot of responsibility.
I just don't want to miss that opportunity.
I know.
To never do it.
I know. Yeah.
At least I had my eggs frozen.
Yeah, thank God.
I definitely want to have a girl first, name her London. But I just don't know when I'm going to have time. Like, I will not stop until I make $1 billion. And then I think I can relax. I know it sounds crazy. I don't know. I just don't have to worry. I don't want to ever have to worry about anything.
Are you happy?
Sometimes.
You don't seem that happy lately.
Really? I don't know what to do. And you have to travel every day, basically, to maintain a relationship, unless you're going to have some bitch boy following me around like they always do, and I lose all respect for them.
Immediately.
They become emasculated. I'm like...
You need to date an equal.
I feel like anyone...
You can't control an equal.
I don't like that.
In Paris.
Because I'm scared.
The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results.
Okay, well,
Bro, her sister's dropping gems. Like, she has like this more well-rounded perception of, you know, kind of having this more balanced lifestyle. Like, it just feels like it's not like all this like influencer lifestyle.
I'm doing the same thing.
You're insane.
I'm not insane, but I don't know. I'm freaked out by people, especially men.
Sex video showing Paris and her ex was released to media outlets and is circulating on the internet. All of this without her consent.
These sex videotapes are all over the internet. How many of you have seen them? I've seen them.
Oh my God.
I don't know. She seems like a very personable young woman.
That was a private moment with a teenage girl, not in her right headspace, but everyone was watching it and laughing like it's something funny.
That poor family. To have your daughter do a porno film in a Marriott hotel. I mean,
We lived in a hotel where the New York Daily News, the New York Post was on everyone's front door, down the whole hall. So on days where it was a cover story, I would run down the hall first and flip every newspaper over.
Bro, they did like, they also like fetishized Britney heavily too.
So they didn't have to see it.
I was in bed a lot. I didn't want to like get up and take the kids to school, you know, face other people.
If that happened today, it would not be the same story at all. But they made me the bad person. Like, I did something bad. It was my first real relationship. 18. I was just so like, in love with him, and I wanted to make him happy. And I just remember him just pulling out the camera, and he was kind of pressuring me into it. Like, oh, you're so boring. Like, do you want me to just call someone else? No one will ever see it.
You know, in the beginning, they said that I raped her and she was incapacitated and you couldn't see the whites of her eyes. And, you know, I have a full color version on trustfundgirls.com, trustfundgirls.com. You can see it was two people in love enjoying sex. Everybody has sex and, you know, two people very much in love and having a good time.
It was like being electronically raped. And for people to think that I did it on purpose. Because after that, all of these leaked tapes were coming up, and it almost became like a blueprint to become famous. I don't know. Like, I didn't need to do that. Like, I always had a plan.
Isn't that kind of what got Kim famous too? So it just feels like it was just something she was forced into, and it just like made her even more famous. And I think that's what kind of sparked like more influencers to kind of, fall on his path too.
My grandmother always called me Grace Kelly, Marilyn Monroe, and I always wanted to live up to that for her. That was my dream. It was going to come true. And I just felt when that happened, that took it all away from me.
I think one of her biggest struggles is trust. She's been betrayed so many times.
I could relate.
She has a real tough time trusting people and letting people in.
Spy cams.
Why are you doing this?
I'm doing this because I have a new boyfriend who's going to be here. Oh, God. I do want to know what's happening when I'm not here. Put this on the phone so it's live. Hi, babe. Yes. Welcome back.
Oh, thank you.
Huh? Does not stop.
Just like 4 hours. Let's go.
I know. I'm happy you're here. Did you get rest on the plane, at least?
No.
Why? You're too excited?
Of course.
Okay. I'll talk to you when I get there. Wish me luck. I met Alex in Miami, and we were at the Georgia Music Festival. And I saw him, and I just thought he was handsome. He's visited me in LA twice, which was a big deal to me because after my last relationship, I was basically planning on being single the rest of my life. But I don't want to be seen in public together yet. I'm not ready for that. My mom. Hello? You're 2 blocks away? Oh, yeah. What time is Chris coming? Shit. Well, it's 7:30 now.
Text her, just say, I'm running a few minutes behind and I would like to see you.
Okay.
Love you, Mom.
Love you, bye. My mom treats me like I'm 12, so I literally am like forever a teenager in my mind. She just wrote me, get down here, young lady.
I kind of feel like I'm in a similar predicament as well.
This is my event. I have people already been waiting for like an hour and a half, so I don't want to piss them off. Thank you, sweetheart. What's your name?
Alexis.
Sure. Hi, Alexis. Nice to meet you. Paris. A little stressed? My mom.
Hi, honey. Beautiful. Oh my God, you smell so good.
Just watching and seeing her today, all the rhinestones, all the costumes she's attracted to. It's like a little Disney child, yet, I don't know, it's like a shield or a cover. She's
Oh, my dog just came.
probably one of the most intelligent people you'll ever meet. She's extremely brilliant. And the mask is sometimes putting up the stupid persona or the voice.
Okay, we'll just finish teenage years, and then we'll tomorrow I'll follow up with the bad relationships, and hopefully we finish it. Overall, it's a really interesting, documentary.
I just want to know where it stems from. Looking back, I always thought that she was going to be a veterinarian. Want to be a dog doctor, a cat doctor, a bird doctor. It was just such a change from like 13 to 15.
Good morning, guys. Merry Christmas Eve. Good morning, Mom. Sorry, turn around. Show me what you got. Look at Dad. That's pretty, Paris.
My sister and I were teenagers.
Hold up.
We moved to New York. I was a new girl at school. I dealt with a lot of bullying, and the girls kind of ganging up on me and being mean to me. In New York, there's the socialite scene. Everyone knew who I was. My mom had us go to etiquette classes. So we basically were taught how to be debutantes. It's very proper, very prim, almost like a Stepford wife. It just didn't seem real or natural to me. I wasn't allowed to go out or go on dates or school dances because my parents were so strict.
No dating, no makeup, no this, no that. Everyone had late curfews. No, you had to be home early. No, 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 no. And then finally, she was just like, doing what I want.
In New York, 14, 15, 16, everything that I didn't want her to do, she wanted to do. Getting into modeling, and I was just like, no, 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 no. Not a good scene.
I always loved Patricia Field and Betsy Johnson. It's kind of like this whole fashion dream world for me. The pink hair and glitter and the shortest little skirts. That's how I was dressing.
She'd buy wigs, necklaces that said sexy, hot bitch. What? I'm thinking, no, this is too much for me. This is crazy.
And then I got a really good fake ID.
She was just gone in the night. And my mother would be up all night, calling every nightclub, threatening them.
I think I just got addicted to the nightlife. I felt accepted. I just felt like the queen of the night. And that's where I really became Paris.
Finally, I locked her in the room. I was afraid she could run into a predator, get kidnapped. Fear, to me, is the most powerful feeling there is.
For a lot of people.
More than pain, more than love, more than hate, more than like, more than fear. And I thought, this was the worst mistake ever moving here. I gotta get her out of here.
I was just a kid living in New York, going to high school. Obviously ditching a lot of class, whatever, but I feel like my parents were scared and they didn't want their reputations to be ruined because Page Six was writing all these stories. So I felt like I was just kind of just sent away to be hidden.
All you ever wanted was the best for your child.
I first sent her to an outdoor wilderness program.
It's for teenage boys and girls needing a change of attitude and direction.
There's all these places called emotional growth schools. The first place was in the middle of nowhere. We were building other camps, basically doing manual labor all day long. It was just constant yelling at, like, boot camp style. So I whispered to one of the girls, like, let's get out of here tonight.
She got away.
We ran through cornfields, through mountains. The guys that worked at the camp grabbed us, and then we got back and they literally just beat the hell out of us in front of everyone. Just let everyone know, if you run away, this is what happens. And then they sent me to this other place, which was hell, and I ran away from there.
She jumped down an entire flight of stairs.
They shut down highways, they shut down the airport.
I escaped from Ascent, Cascade, Sea-Doo.
Bruh, like, no place should ever do that. That is messed up.
All of these emotional growth schools.
We're just spending all our time trying to figure out, should we move to the moon? What do we do?
I'm like, please, can I just go home? I've already been through so much. I promise I'll never go to a club again. Please, like, I can't go back to these places. Like, you have no idea. There was no convincing them, no matter what I said. So I just didn't trust them.
Honestly, like, the fact, the parents didn't look into, like, the communication or, they were like, what's wrong with my child? Well, clearly she's kind of had this upbringing, and obviously she's going to rebel, you know, it's common. You know, once you kind of give them, like, all this kind of, like, lifestyle, like, it tends to happen, but a lot of them just don't have self-awareness.
It made me not trust anyone, not even my own family. Even to this day, it's really hard for me to let anyone in.
Hold on, squad. Okay, so yeah, I think we'll end it here. We're gonna, you know, go to the bad relationships and everything else. Yeah, man, like, a lot of people just excuse, like, oh, she has money, but, like, they don't, like, look into, like, the mental health that goes along this. Like, a lot of people will do anything just to get the money. It doesn't matter if, you know, they get mentally stained. They will do whatever. And it just shows you, like, people just need to have more awareness and a bit more of empathy. Like, yeah, they might have all this, you know, money, but you still gotta look at the more humane side. I know some people will disagree with that. They will look past that. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I used to think that Wales, like, all these people were complaining and, you know, they have everything. And, you know, like, the regular plebs gotta, you know, hustle 24/7 just to make ends meet. But, even though I still think, you know, I put myself in that kind of situation, how I would be handling it, it looks like, you know, it's like all this happy-go-lucky lifestyle, but there's like a darker undertone. Well, yeah, I think I'll end it there, and tomorrow we'll finish it. It's a really good documentary. I liked it a lot. All right, thank you guys, and good night.